Marvel Comics are a rich diaspora of genres, styles, and tones. What originally started as a pulpy horror mag evolved into science fiction, social-political commentary, high-minded philosophy, teenage social drama, romance, comedy, meta-awareness, alternate realities, separate colliding universes, bulging pecs, mindless action set pieces, event skybeam explosive set pieces, and endless crossovers. But I love it.
I love it!
One storyline can both contain a silver spaceman contemplating the meaning of peace, as well as a four-legged land shark getting mad at being merchandised. What about you? What are your favorite corners of the Marvel Universe? Chime in the comments below. Like you, Marvel contains multitudes. And when it comes to the MCU, the Disney Plus shows have really been their first chance at stretching their genre-defining influence and try out so many different things. Some with great success, and some with complete and utter failure. Enter Echo, a character introduced in the MCU via Hawkeye, who had a personal vendetta against Clint Barton for his crimes as Ronin. Her relationship to Kingpin and lack of hearing allowed her and Hawkeye to see eye to eye, and understand the true power of Kingpin's manipulation. So she goes and bangs Kingpin. Am I saying that right? An interesting character. Deaf, handicapped anti-hero in the street-level world of Marvel? Sounds rad. Oh, we're doing a whole series dedicated to her. Okay. Turns out, the show ain't half bad. In fact, it's better than most of the Disney-era shows, and its real strength comes from its own inherent diversity, isolation, and unique perspective. There has been a very tragic lack of stories focused in on Native American stories. The best we've had in over 5 years is Reservation Dogs, a little bit of Westworld, and that one episode of What If Season 2. Now this. I loved seeing the creation myth in the beginning of the series, as well as the territorial games played in episode 2. There's a wealth of untapped historical cultural significance that truly only exists in the descendants of these people in real life. I was overjoyed to have some exposure to Choctaw culture, even if the vehicle is an action-oriented fantasy show, and learning that Choctaw tribes were not only involved in creating, consulting, and even profusely thanked at the end makes that praise feel even more earned. Echo only really has crossover touchpoints with Hawkeye, Kingpin, and now Daredevil, so having her character leave New York to Oklahoma opens up not just new storylines, but a creative freedom that feels sorely lacking in most MCU shows. One wish I've had with Star Wars for a long time is just give me stories set in the universe nowhere near adjacent to the main drama of the storyline. Give me random rogues doing their best to make it in the universe. Let them exist in that sandbox. Cameos are fine as long as they are fleeting and unrelated enough from the core of the quote-unquote saga storyline. Mando Season 1 was almost this until it became a pseudo-justification to explain away Palpatine's return in Rise of Skywalker.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
In Echo, we have the freedom to be, get to know new characters, understand her family, history, and culture without so much damn baggage. The show did something really interesting as well in episode 1 by intercutting footage from Hawkeye with newly shot footage for the show to serve as a complete standalone experience without heavy homework or reminding beforehand. But if you want reminding and like hanging out, thinking, and chatting more about the shows that you love/hate, then consider subscribing. We just hit 1,000 subscribers and we're gonna keep this gravy train moving no matter how hard the YouTube algorithm hates us. We're gonna cover the final season of Bad Batch, a video essay on the meaning and philosophy of Scavenger's Reign, and I've got a goofy Star Wars short I'm cooking up. If you like sci-fi genre movies, TV, games, and books, then this is the place for you. How many shows have you seen where the main character was deaf? Coda was amazing, but that was about a girl who could hear in a deaf family. How many shows have you seen where two characters could only communicate via their hands, and the first time they see each other, in over a decade, they are unable to communicate because their hands are tied up? I don't know about you, but I'm not a deaf, handicapped Native American woman with major family issues, but I couldn't help feeling for Maya and her family. Her grandmother, played wonderfully by Tantu Cardinal, so beautifully encapsulates the heartfelt message of the show and the core of Maya's identity crisis. This show is worth a watch. The Daredevil fight scene is a delight, yes, sadly singular. D'Onofrio is stupendous as always. Alaqua Cox plays Maya so sympathetically, it's hard not to have Echo land squarely in the lap of new superheroes I didn't know I was gonna like, but now I like. Oh, and the music throughout slaps. The biggest shortcomings of the show, however, would have to be the big hero moment in episode 5, sadly. It's the most Marvel-y component of an otherwise very grounded show and misses the mark. It earned the setup for it hands down, but the moment feels a little awkward and somehow unsatisfying. So overall, I give it 3 lovey faces and 1 sad face due to the misfire with the hero moment. If you enjoyed this content, then consider getting into a thumb war with the like button and win. Your ancestors will thank you for it. And while I definitely at first thought the AR contact lens for ASL was cool, 2 seconds later I realized that it could have just been text, and it would have required a lot less engineering and would be like 5 times more efficient. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. No, it's awesome.
Aicha, Aicha, Hoka